What's going on, guys? Openhand here. Just found out that they came out with a DLC for Remnant 2. So the past couple days I've been playing and grinding and trying to get all the items that I wanted. And I finally have, so I figured I'd go ahead and make a kind of updated build video. I made a video a while ago when the game first came out with the build. And this build's pretty much the same idea. I'm running Deceit, and I'm running Enigma, and I'm also running Burden of Gambler. And the idea was that, Deceit can't hit weak spots unless you're using the mod, and Enigma cannot hit weak spots either. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to find like just a high damaging crit only kind of build here. So with the additional new items, obviously I think I've improved it quite a bit. So I figured it warranted a updated version here. So I guess we'll just simply start out with the classes here. Now, before I was running Medic, and I, after doing a little more research and stuff, I definitely think Alchemist is the way to go. I honestly did not know that they had a damage perk that was like just 25% increase in damage and 5% crit. Somehow I missed that. I probably would have been running Alchemist way earlier instead of Medic, just because, concoctions in this game are really, really insane. So for the first class, Alchemist, obviously you want the Prime perk that gives you 3 additional concoctions. For my concoctions, I'm running Bark Extract, which increases my armor by 30. And I have pretty heavy armor here, so it is even more beneficial once you factor in traits like Fortify and stuff like that, right? Also running the new consumable called Meat Shake, which increases damage reduction by 8%. You have to go through some kind of quest to get this, which, you can find on the wiki if you don't know how to get it or want to figure it out. But it's not too bad. And then also running Root Water, which increases my health regen. I'm already running stuff like Tranquil Heart, and I have the, let's see here, the Triage trait, which increases my healing by 50%. So I figured, a little bit more health regen would be great. And I'm pretty sure that, Triage affects this as well. So it's actually more than, 1%. It's more like, I guess, half of 75 is like, what, 37.5? So it's more like, 1.10, 1.11 that you get, which is pretty nice. And then lastly, I'm using Strong Drink to reduce my encumbrance by 10. I'll get into the armor and the weight stuff in a minute, but basically it's necessary to be able to get down to the medium dodge roll, and they recently, I guess, kind of changed how strong back work. It gives you plus 15 or a 15 dodge weight threshold instead of like reducing encumbrance. So this was the best armor setup that I could have the most armor and still hit the 65 weight cap to be able to like medium roll, which is crazy that it actually landed exactly on 65. But again, I'll get into the armor and DR and all that stuff in a minute. But yeah, Alchemist overall, just really good class concoctions. It's got the damage and the crit, which is really, really nice. The abilities are good. You got a lot of resistance from it and stuff like that. So it's kind of a no-brainer for a build like this, where I'm trying to really take advantage of, every aspect. Have high DR, high survivability, high regen, high damage. Kind of like a jack of all trades builds, which is what I tend to go for when I'm making characters. It's the most bang for your buck that you can get. Now, secondly, I'm using Hunter, just simply because it has the most range damage at 40%, and it's got the 5% crit. Obviously, we can't take advantage of the Prime perk, where if you're hitting weak spot, you get more seconds on your abilities, but just the 40% range damage is just, it's too good to pass up, in my opinion. So I decided to go Hunter there. And they have a couple nice things like Urgency and Return to Sender and stuff like that, which is pretty nice for getting ammo and all that. Now for the accessories here, let's see here, with my amulet, I got the Whispering Marble. Now this is a new one that came out in the DLC, and again, like I said, I try to get as much bang for my buck as I can. So I thought, I'm like, wow, this thing grants bulwark and increases your max damage. That's pretty good, right? So I decided to use this in conjunction with the new Dried Clade Ring, which also gives you another stack of bulwark. So you get 3 stacks here, which is 15% damage decrease. And since we have 4 stacks of bulwark all the time, it's a 12% increase in damage, which is nice to have. And then here, it's kind of the same deal, where it's like 60% of your total bulwark stacks. And since we have 4 It ends up being about 12% as well. So, I mean, overall, you get okay damage from these, and you get, a bit more survivability, which, like I said, I really try to get in this game as much as I can. That's what I get one shot out of Apocalypse and stuff, which, I mean, I'll show you in a minute, but this build is obviously very, very tanky. And Burden the Gambler, like I said, just not worried about any kind of weak spot damage. I'm not using the mod on this at all, really, because this is more just like a, roaming kind of kill stuff quickly, out mobbing kind of thing. Now, if you're fighting bosses, you can change up some of the rings if you want to use Ouroboros, maybe throw in like the weak spot ring or whatever in the Phelan Sigil or something to get more mods in, so you can just constantly throw the Ouroboros at the boss and hit weak spot damage if you want. I don't really do that. I just kind of run around, and the damage is okay as is. So I'm not, versus bosses, I'll generally just go in like this. But if you want to like, min-max, I guess, against bosses, you can switch out some rings and do that. But, the 10% increased critical and the 20% increased critical damage is really, really nice. And my other ring here, Burden the Destroyer. Now, I mentioned this in my other video, the 15% or 25% decrease to the range isn't really that big of a factor because Deceit has such a long range in general, like 28 meters is plenty of range, plus we get some back from the long shot perk from Hunter. So the drop off here really is not a big deal. Just having the like 15% increased damage though is really, really nice. So I figured like, the 25% decrease just doesn't really affect me that much in most situations. And lastly, got the probability cord with the 30% increased crit. Obviously this is crit build, so that's pretty much a no-brainer there. For the armor and stuff here, I pretty much just tried to find out what armor would work and get me to like the 65 cap on my weight so I can still medium roll. And this is the combination that I came up with here. I got the Lido Mark 1 helmet, the Bruiser body plate, the Lido Mark 2 leggings, and the Bruiser gloves. Again, it's just perfect, magically added up exactly to 65. And you don't even look that weird, it kind of like goes together as far as like armor sets go. You're not looking super goofy out here, so that's always nice. For the stats here though, let's see here, we'll talk about the DR real quick. So the max is 80. I was able to get up to about 75%, which I think is really, really good just because we still do a lot of damage. So, then that's obviously with like the concoctions on and stuff like that. So again, really, really tanky with this build. And yeah, it does really, really high damage too. For my see my relic here, I'm using the Tranquil Heart. I just really like the passive regen on this. It's kind of nice just to not have to worry about healing consistently if you take a hit, And the obviously benefits from stuff like triage, where you get actually 3 health per second instead of 2. And then we have stuff like regrowth, which also benefits from triage. And like I said earlier, the concoction that I'm using. So I think you get like 6 or 7 life per second. So you're pretty tanky. Like if you take a hit, you're gonna heal back really, really quick. So yeah, that's why I landed on Tranquil Heart. Plus, like the ability here, the Alchemist Elixir of Life, is also gives you health regen. So if you use this and then pop your relic, you're gonna heal for, I think it's like 20 something per second basically. So it's really, I mean, crazy with the synergy there. So, and then for my other skill, I guess I didn't mention this, I'm using just Hunter's Focus to have. It's pretty nice against like elites and bosses, but again, we're not really worried about cooldowns or anything like that. So oh yeah, I guess I should talk about the mods. So I finally got Supercharger. I did not have that in my last video. I was using some other mutator where you aim down and you get like 20% increased damage and 10% crit. This obviously is much better. Shoots a lot quicker. The 15% crit is really, really nice. Overall, it gives the Deceit, I think, with all my gear, 60% crit. So it's pretty good there. And I guess I forgot to mention the runes I'm using. Range critical chance, range critical damage, and range damage for my stuff on my relic. Now on Enigma, this is the same one I was using before, using momentum. I think momentum on this is really, really good if you can get enough crit. Now, it's really, really important that you have like Burden the Gambler if you want to run momentum on this, just because like it's really hard to get stacks of momentum if you're missing out on this 10% crit. Now there's new rings out there that people can use where like if you're bleeding all the time, I think you get like 10% crit, and there's some other amulet out there if you're suffering from a status ailment, you can get 20% crit. I think that'd be really good with Enigma and momentum. You know, if maybe somebody wants to try that. But if you don't have like that extra 10% crit that you get from Burden of the Gambler, it's just so hard to get the stacks of momentum. But with the 10%, I guess I can go ahead and show you. I'll show you in a minute. Actually, I gotta go through my trades. But it just makes it so much easier to get the, you know, momentum and maintain the momentum stacks. So I guess really quick, we'll go through the traits. Fortify, obviously, for the armor. You know, I'm trying to get as much damage reduction as I can. Long shot comes with Hunter. Potency. It's just this is a nice trait just in general. It does not have to worry about eating consumables as much. So it's cool to have. Regrowth, the health regen, strong back, kind of talked about trying to, you know, be able to wear a little bit of heavier gear, get more DR, and still be able to medium roll. Now swiftness here, this is his preference. I guess I've been playing a lot of Lords of the Fallen lately, but I came back and I'm like, damn, dude, this guy is moving slow. So I threw on swiftness, and it just kind of helped out, you know, the kind of pacing of the game. I guess I feel a little better as far as like when I move around. I don't know if they changed like movement speed or something like that, but it seems a lot slower than when I was playing previously. So I throw on swiftness. It's just nice to be able to move around a little bit quicker, but you can change this out for, I don't know, something else if it doesn't bother you as much as it does me. After that, triage for the increased healing. Spirit and expertise are by default. Bark skin, 10% damage reduction. And got shade skin for the 20% elemental reduction. And then I got 6 points in the siphoner just because I had some extra, and it's nice to, you know, be able to steal a little bit of health here and there. So I guess I'll go to the target dummies here. It's going to show you the damage.
He can probably help with my gun.
That's this one actually. Damage is pretty good on my, like, per 6 rounds it ends up being about 2k DPS here, assuming I can crit. Hold on, I'm like, oh my god, that was abysmal. You can see like, you know, around 2k through 6 rounds, which is not bad. And you know, Enigma here, like I was saying, the momentum thing is really good on this, because if you get it all the way to 10 stacks, your Enigma ends up having about 50% crit chance. Now let's kind of show you here. See, once I get up to 10 stacks, it's pretty maintainable. Again, you're like at 50%, and you can even a lot of time reload, and if you're still shooting at stuff, you can hit it before the stacks reset, so you can keep, you know, the damage going and stuff like that. And as you can see, my Enigma hits really hard, like 142 just normal, and then 355 for every crit, and again 50% crit. So like this Enigma absolutely melts out in Apocalypse, just a ton of damage. But yeah, I think that's it. I guess I'll go run around and kill some stuff real quick. Gonna like Morrow Parish or something. And just kind of show you how the flow of the build works here. And again, with the Deceit and stuff, you can one-shot or, you know, two-shot tons of enemies out here in Apocalypse. So the damage is pretty high. But again, this is more like kind of a mobbing kind of thing. First bosses, again, you can, if you want to change up some rings, go for it. So you can use the mod. I mean, totally understand. The mod absolutely melts bosses in a lot of situations, so. Oh no, my game freeze? Are you kidding me? Okay. Alright. I'll just run around and kill stuff. Let's see, I think these guys get one shot. As long as I roll a crit on one of my bullets, yeah, I see they get one shot. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's kind of just where you just run around and just shoot stuff. And again, you're not really, and again, this being like a hit scan gun is really nice. You know, you don't have to like lead shots or anything like that. It's just point, click, and shoot. And I really do like the supercharger too, just because like the faster speed at which this gun shoots is kind of nice. Maybe I'll run into an elite or something. That'd be nice. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Just run around, shoot stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of the Deceit. I know there's like a corrupted Deceit, but I missed that whole event where you can get shards or something that you need to upgrade it or trade in your Deceit. So maybe if they make that a little easier, I'll check out the corrupted Deceit stuff. But from what I understand, it's not very good. Maybe we actually will get an elite. Or not. I don't know. Anyways, you guys kind of get the idea, you know. Maybe I'll, oh, I guess I should get hit by something, kind of show you the DR and stuff. Here's an idea. Alright, hit me. See, I mean, pretty good. I mean, this is Apocalypse, getting hit like that, and you see the Regen and everything. So I mean, it's a lot more damage reduction than my other build, because now that they actually fixed the numbers. But yeah, the Regen's pretty good. You know, if I'm want to use like, oh, he's gonna knock me down. I want to use that, and then I can use my Relic. You can just see how stupid fast you heal, you know. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Have any questions, let me know. Yeah, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.